Wait, everybody, I got one more. I got a last second pickup. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jason once again. We've got HOTUS versus Accel Esports. And just picked this game up real quick. I wanted to see if they had started. They had apparently been in draft, but they said they would go ahead and restart for me if I wanted to cast. So these guys giving me a little bit of a break. And I noticed their game had been dropped earlier, so I'm happy to be able to pick up this match for them. We got HOTUS versus Accel Esports. We made it in time for game number 1. Little back-to-back Division B East action. Let's do it. If we're going to do it, we might as well do it, right? So I think these guys may have already done the draft, so this might go really fast. I don't know. We'll see. Accel Esports starting with the Kalthos ban. And HOTUS now also going to have the map pick here, which was Sky Temple. We're throwing all this in right at the last second, but well, let's do it anyway. What the heck? Why not? Abathur going to be banned out for the side of HOTUS. So pretty good global map for him. The map objectives tend to be fought over quite a lot, and this is a good mule map as well, as the map objectives, is kind of slowly take these forts, but a lot of times don't finish them off. Any mule value you can get will kind of directly counter what the map objective is getting. But meanwhile, we will see Arthas and Anubarak banned out. Kind of a curious ban here from Accel Esports with the Arthas, but Diablo is going to be the one let through for Leonidas. They're tripping me up already. Now, of course, I did just cast for HOTUS last night in their Monday Night Showdown. Or last week in their Monday Night Showdown, but last night against Team Training Wheels, that's right. Snow Puppy, thank you very much for the cheer. I appreciate it. Those 100 bits. Alright, so it's going to be ETC and Taronda being picked up here for the side of HOTUS. So good CC follow-up and setup right off the bat. And the Anna and Jaina coming out on the other side. So really solid nano boost target for the Jaina. She gets quite a lot of extra value. And especially on a map like this where it often doesn't come down to team fighting, except over these boss points where everybody's kind of bunched into one area. And a lot of times that extra damage, especially in the AoE fashion that Jaina has, can make a big difference for these boss fights. But we will see Hanzo being banned out by the members of HOTUS. So not wanting to see more of that kind of ranged AoE style heroic and stun damage. And the Dahaka going to be banned out for Accel. So kind of denying that global presence here. But right now for HOTUS, we still haven't seen what their damage is going to be like. We want somebody that's pretty good at follow-up damage for the ETC and Taronda. And with Jaina already off the board, one of the first things that comes to mind is the Orphea, possibly a Li Ming for that damage follow-up, though she doesn't have very good wave clear, and this is a pretty wave clear heavy map. So we're going to see the Zeratul coming out for Blaze, and the Sonya coming out for Waterboy TKD. So I've been seeing a lot of HOTUS. They've been playing very strong down the stretch. Looked very good in the Monday Night Showdown last week against Gilly Shark. Looking really strong last night against Team Training Wheels. And these guys are just kind of on a roll right now going into the late season. But we are going to see Raynor and Leoric coming out as the last picks for Accel Esports. So really strong front line between the Diablo and the Leoric. They're pretty mobile, so they have the opportunity to dive the back line or to kind of zone and quickly get back to their back line if they're being attacked. Jaina Raynor, of course, a really strong duo in the back line for damage. And how are we going to round this out here with Clyde's pick? It is going to be that Li Ming, so they're going to look for the follow-up burst damage from the Ming. That should be interesting to see. You know, we see Leoric often used as cannon fodder in a lot of these team fights. It's okay if he dies because he's got the trait mechanic to come back more quickly and wherever he wants on the battlefield. But that's not a great strategy against the reset style of Li Ming. But, we'll just have to see how it goes here. One thing I would also be remiss if I didn't mention is how strong Ana is right now in the current meta. As far as healers go, both teams having a strong healer, but Ana, especially now that Eye of Horus is back, has just been a terror to deal with here in the Nexus. But either way, we are going in here for game number 1. HOTUS versus Accel. These teams will have to excuse me. I haven't done a whole lot of homework from this last second cast. You know, anybody can just jump right in and just take a quick look at the standings. HOTUS, of course, number 1 at the top right now, and Accel sitting at number 9. So they're fishing for these points, trying to see if they could pick up at least 1 point here before the end of the season and the playoffs come in. But on the left, we've got HOTUS. We've got Jub playing the Tyrande, Waterboy TKD on the Sonya, Clyde on the Li Ming, Blaze playing the Zeratul, and Watson going to be playing the ETC.
It seems here to fall.
Meanwhile, on the right, as we're paused, we can still do the intros though. Casey going to be playing the Kalthos. Leonidas going to be on the Diablo. Atlas playing the Leoric. Scathar on the Jaina, and Shamhat going to be on the Ana. So let's take a quick look at these early talents. Not all of them being picked, but of course we're going to see Ace in the Hole on the Rainer. No big shocker there. You know, grenade build has been very, very strong for the Ana. Power hungry at 1, not a big shocker as well. We got a couple of globe talents coming in, so globes are going to be a priority for both squads. Sonya deciding to go with the tough as nails, so going to get a little bit of extra block in that solo lane style. Still haven't seen the level 1 coming out from Diablo, so that'll be an interesting pick to see what that might end up being. Alright, well, let's go ahead and take a quick break here as we wait for these teams to come on back. And as soon as we are ready to go here with game number 1 and we have our players back, we'll get this rolling again. Here we go, back on in for the beginning of game number 1. That was an easy intro. No one was moving around. Super easy. So we are gonna see. Oh, let's make sure we get the right overlay in though. Whew! Almost screwed that up. This casting game is wrought with perils, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Meanwhile, I like that. Watson trying to get aggressive for that globe. But ultimately, we do see Accel picking up their own globe. And 1-1 on the count so far between these two teams for their respective globe quests. Quick rotation to the bottom, though, by Accel. So they're a little bit faster on the rotations right now. But Blaze was up in top lane trying to harass that Leoric. There is the charge in, though, from Leonidas. Blaze will be able to teleport away, though. Meanwhile, the members of HOTUS going to quickly get started on their siege camp, while Accel continues the traditional 4-man rotation style here. They do have a bit of a gank squad, so I kind of like that strategy to start. I'll have to see if they leave anyone for camping here. And no, they're just going to continue in the lanes. Not too worried about the camp game early here. You know, look at Watson. Just going to get started. You know, he's an ETC. He's got a big axe. He knows where to swing it. The rotation is coming in, though, from Accel. Watson is going to go ahead and slide on out of this. And they're actually just not going to push the issue. I like that call. I mean, it's definitely worth it to get it started and try to steal that away. Because if you get it, that's good value. But you definitely don't want to overstay and give away kills. So that's the experience that comes from a very patient squad like HOTUS. Meanwhile, the win that they get is a few missed minions here before Leonidas can get up here to soak the rest of that minion wave as they get killed on the wall there. But I do like Accel's commitment to this rotation. They know what their strategy is. They're going to keep on it, and not a whole lot of teams have that you know, that sort of coordination and that dedication to what their strat is. So I really respect it quite a lot. I know my team would have broken off in this rotation by now. Just saying. I got nothing but love for my team. Don't get me wrong. It's okay, we're getting the coaching. We're figuring it out. But they're committing to getting this quest done for Jaina, and boy howdy if they got a good start on it. 12 globes early to HOTUS for the ETC quest, only having 5 so far. Make it 6, but still. And then again, if they own this, if they're just trading out these temples, they can still rotate the Jaina down to mid to continue to get those globes. Especially as the minion waves kill each other, you can actually end up capturing both if the enemy team's not answering to it. But looks like Jaina going to rotate up to the top lane to try and help out Atlas here on this camp in the top lane. We'll get a globe out of the deal as well. But it's a nice push from HOTUS. They timely camp grab up in the top lane, pushing along with the map objective as it's shooting for this top fort, so going to get a little extra damage on that. Meanwhile, mid fort has taken a bit of a beating from Accel Esports, having that mid that mid objective there.
My temple's power has been.
And you'll see the 5-man rotation from HOTUS, full commitment to it. Accel having a slight level lead, but now with this top fort down, the trickle XP going to be nice for Accel. But look at the response. Full 4-man commitment to the bot lane as they're going to look to soften this up a bit. Next map objective, of course, is going to be in the bot lane on this bot temple. They're going to open this up. Casey going to finish off the well, so there will be no tap available for HOTUS. Meanwhile, Accel's camp is stolen away by HOTUS up in the top lane, so again, kind of forcing the response from Accel. That's what an experienced team will generally do to you. Like this, is they will force you to respond to them. Go ahead and grab their camp in the bot lane. By the way, now 16 on the globe count for Jaina. She gets closer and closer on that. Not a whole lot of damage though. There's been basically no team fighting, so Ice Block's still about a mile away for poor Scathar. There just haven't been that many opportunities to actually be in range of these other heroes, so it's kind of like what you do to a Kel'Thuzad. You just don't fight in the area, and you just don't allow them to get any damage. Now, of course, for Kel'Thuzad, you're trying to deny those stacks from the chain quest, but of course, Jaina's quest is just getting that frostbitten damage. A bit of a scuffle here in the bot lane. Accel Esports with a slight level lead as Leoric is still out double soaking in these lanes. Going to give them a little bit of an experience lead, but as the temple activates here in bot, the full 5-man commitment from HOTUS has given them a bit of a positional advantage at the very least. They do send Sonya out to the mid lane to soak though, because they know the level 10s are going to be coming in soon for both of these squads, and they don't want to really be down that level 10 for too long. Now all 5 are down here. Still a decent amount from level 10, so this is a good point for either team to force. You'll see the grenade coming out, denying some of the healing. Watson getting very, very low. Will be able to rotate down through the temple area to get out. Blaze also low. So right now, Accel Esports looking like they have the command on this team fight at the moment. HOTUS still hanging around in the area, but now level 10s are in for Accel. They're going to get this just a hair before HOTUS does. They do have the Entomb out. Level 10's now coming in as a massive ring comes in. Apoc to try and follow, but the VP is going to stall a little bit of that, but it's still ETC that ends up going down first. Waterboy TKD getting very low. He's going to go down as well. And Accel Esports taking the first team fight, getting the first blood, and a 2-0 start here against the reigning leaders in B East of HOTUS. Atlas trying to go in with that Wraith Walk. Spooky Hand not quite finding the mark onto Blaze there. But either way, what a win there for Accel. Starting off this game very strong. They got the first couple kills. They're going to get a bit of an XP advantage, but most importantly, they're going to dominate the rest of that temple, which will take down the mid fort that they had started on, along with the bottom fort that they had softened up from earlier. So now they have a bit of a structure advantage as well as this level lead. Now, where do they take this advantage is the question. They don't have any strong actual team fighting advantage until level 13 comes into play, but they are going to look to rotate onto this point, and Leonidas does get the charge in onto it on time. Fire Grenade goes down onto it. Mosh Pit on the backside, though, from Watson. Clyde trying to capitalize with the damage. They do get the kill onto Jaina, but not before the 3-man ring is placed down. Shamhat getting very low there. The grenade not going to be enough to save him. Clyde now in full reset mode, but not quite enough mana to maybe finish off Casey here. Waterboy looking for it on the flank, and a huge shotgun from Casey. That penetrating round going to knock him back. But bottom line, a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of HOTUS. But the camp is stolen away by Accel. So a little bit back and forth there. Neither team really getting the better of that exchange, all in all. This is turning out to be a pretty exciting match. You know, you go into this match looking at the standings and you think, you know, HOTUS will probably deal with this pretty well. But Accel has definitely come out swinging. And ladies and gentlemen, do not underestimate the power of a team that's got their backs against the wall. You know, Accel has something to play for here as they are trying to get a playoff berth, while HOTUS is sitting comfortably up in that top spot. They know they're going to the playoffs. We just don't quite know exactly what spot or what seed they're going to get. But desperation for Accel at this point in the season. They're going to be fighting probably a little bit harder than HOTUS, and we're seeing that early. We'll have to see if they can keep it up. Level 13's now in for the members of Accel. And look at this rotation onto the backside. The VP actually stops the Wraith Walk from Leoric. I had never seen that mechanic before, but either way, looking for that Entomb. Finds Clyde, but the teleport is good to get him away from that. The ring only finding one, but Waterboy TKD does end up going down from it. Clyde maybe diving in a little bit too deep there, trying to get that kill onto Casey. So another 2-for-0 exchange. Accel again with that strong rotation, and Watson's got to look out here. Gonna be overpowered. Slide is down, and that's gonna be enough for Casey and the Sunshine Band, no, the members of Accel Esports, to take out a third member. Accel rolling here, and they have this top camp pushing as well, so it's gonna get a little bit of value here as the scrimmage was going on in the bot lane. But both of these temples are being captured. I'm just beating down the structures of HOTUS here. No mule to heal these things back up either. This is a one opportunity for these forts to be alive, for these structures to live. Blaze going in, getting a decent amount of damage onto the back line here for Accel, but Leonidas going to peel him off. And I like that call. They've got Leo in the bot lane, getting the full value on the temple. They don't want to take the 4v5, so they go ahead and back off. And right now, Accel is in the driver's seat in this game. They do not have to rush this. They can play this nice and slow. This map objective is a war of attrition. Or, I mean, this map in general, I should say. But the way the objectives work, you don't have to rush anything. As they'll rotate around together, cleaning up the lanes. They, once again, have a nice angle for a potential team fight onto HOTUS. They're going to find the stun onto the backside onto Clyde, but he will teleport away. Atlas may be looking for an advantageous entomb there, but not going to find it on anyone. The ideal target to hit is the Tyrande. Pretty much everybody else either is okay fighting in close quarters or has a decent escape for it. So as long as Jub stays far back enough to not get caught in that entomb, HOTUS has a pretty good answer for that kind of engagement. As Atlas skulking around. They're going to rotate down to bot, grab their own camp, and now level 16s are here. So this is where Accel wants to look to actually try and force a fight a little bit more heavily. HOTUS knowing that, though, kind of playing passive. Sharking around, seeing if they find anybody out alone. Or maybe find an... Oh, but Blaze going to be capped here by that push. And here comes the Mosh Pit trying to follow up that VP, but it gets interrupted by a big apocalypse. Li Ming goes down. ETC as well off the heels of that massive ring. Shamhat under pressure on the backside, but Casey just standing there shooting him down. Leonidas going to try and find an angle on Waterboy TKD here, but a nice lunar flare from Jub going to peel him back. And the Jaina did go down in that exchange. Still no ice block. Getting closer and closer to that ice block right now, but not having the survivability that you'd like to see from level 17. The unfortunate thing about Jaina, though, is a lot of times when you finish that quest, it's controlled by the enemy team. If they just never come and fight you, you can't get the hero damage that you need from that chilled those chill stacks, and you just never get ice blocked late into the game when you really need it for these big team fights. But still a 1-for-2 exchange there in favor of Accel, and they continue to win on most of these fronts. Meanwhile, Leonidas sharking up here does get hit by the stun, but he's going to be just fine. Watson trying to see if he could find anything else. Does not have the Mosh Pit available here. Well, a lot of damage coming down onto Leonidas from that combo. The ring coming out, though, once again, and Zeratul gets blowed up. Waterboy TKD is on the backside of this, but the APOC going to kind of zone them back a little bit. Massive slide there from Watson, though. As back and forth they go. It is a 1-kill exchange so far. Waterboy TKD, though, going to go down. It's a 2-0, and Atlas kind of sharking around, seeing where he can pop out of this Wraith Walk to try and slow them down. Watson going to slide away, and Clyde should be okay as well. Still a 1-for-2 exchange. Level 18 now for Accel as they're heading in towards that 20 talent tier. All the while, this bot lane still getting a decent amount of value. And the top temple is still available for the members of Accel. Looks like they're going to put a couple of members back to grab their camp. And looks like it's just going to be Leoric capping up here in the top. Check boss with the owl. But again, this is Accel's game right now. They are in charge here in game number 1. And they don't really have to play this too aggressively, but I like this call from HOTUS. They're going to go ahead and get on the boss. They see Leo up in that top area, or they know at least someone was there for the temple. And they're going to force Accel to try and fight them before they have level 20. The question is, do they take the bait here? Accel doesn't necessarily have to take this fight. The VP going to try and zone them out, but it's a little too early. This boss is not going to be down before it comes out of the VP. Atlas also there to get on to point. The ring, oh my goodness, the ring. Jaina just blowing up everybody here. That's a 4, make it 5 for nothing. And Accel Esports with the team fight of the season right there. What a boss engagement. That's going to give him level 20. That's going to give him a path directly to mid. 30 seconds still on the members of HOTUS. And I think this one is over, ladies and gentlemen. Accel Esports finding the rhythm they need here late in the season. And they're going to take game 1 off of HOTUS here on Sky Temple. I hope they don't take this the wrong way, but color me surprised, ladies and gentlemen. The way HOTUS has looked the last couple of weeks, Accel Esports coming in here and punching them in the mouth game one. Definitely what they needed for their season. They are looking to try and get a late season rally to get themselves some points here. As they are currently sitting at number 9, so just barely on the outside looking in. And they basically had the same test that Team Training Wheels had last night against HOTUS, but right now they are doing much better on the first part of this exam. 15-3 on the kill count. And you can't say enough about Scathar in those rings, especially the last ring. So much damage coming out there. And, you know, you don't see that reflected in the numbers, but you look just at the team fight alone, just the eye test of those team fights, and the combo damage from Rainer and Jaina was just huge in those team fights to turn it around. The healing numbers from Shamhat also making a massive difference. That biotic grenade build looking very strong, not just in the again, that eye test, but also just in the numbers game. All right, so it looks like these guys are ready for game number 2, and we are going to be heading to Cursed Hollow for game number 2. Now, of course, Cursed Hollow, kind of a similar map in a lot of ways to Sky Temple. The map objective, of course, is a little bit more often and usually doesn't take quite as long as the objectives on Sky Temple, but overall, big 3-lane map. These objectives a little bit more team fight oriented than Sky Temple, where a lot of times you can just trade temples or try to trade value somewhere else on the map. You really have to come to these team fights to get these tributes. All right. Just make sure both of these teams are ready to go here for Cursed Hollow in game number 2. I'm interested to see what HOTUS wants to do as a possible adjustment for that. There's not really a whole lot you can do in terms of countering, you know, like a ring and the follow-up damage from all of that. You know, there's not a whole lot preventative you can do. You know, maybe something like a white mane for the extra, you know, healing. Looks like both of these teams ready to go, and in on to game number 2 we go. Can Accel pull off the big upset, or will HOTUS force us here to a game number 3? Let's find out, shall we? Kael'thas going to be the early ban out here once again from Accel, and this time the Ana. So HOTUS trying to diagnose that loss is going to point at the Ana, and hard to argue with that. A lot of extra sustainability coming in from the Ana in that game. And again, that grenade build is just kind of vicious. You know, say what you want about Eye of Horus, but when you go Nano Boost and you have the grenade build and you have the strikes from the healing, it almost feels like that's the more effective way to go. Where Eye of Horus does some nice stuff from a very long range, but so she's a little safer. But ultimately, you know, if you just get in there with that biotic grenade and you're just healing the crap out of your team, you can get about as much value that way if your team is able to carry through all of that. But with the Diablo being banned out, we're going to see Accel going instantly into the Abathur. And this is the best Abathur map in the game, in my opinion. This is the home of Abathur. I see a lot of Abathur players love to put mines all over the map in the rotational areas here on Cursed Hollow, which is going to slow your rotations to those tributes, show exactly who's coming and how many a lot of the time. But we are going to see the members of HOTUS going back to Tyrande here. This time they're going to have the Anubarak, though. Meanwhile, Jaina once again coming out along with the Johanna this time around. So no Diablo available, but instead we're going to see Johanna coming out along with the Jaina. Yeah, Casey was definitely on... actually, Casey was on Raynor last game, so we'll have to see if they end up swapping that out or if they have something else in mind here. The Zul'jin banned out. Okay, that's an interesting, maybe scouting tool there is all I can really think of. But, that's, I mean, he's got a lot of shred. He is very scary in these team fight situations where, again, you know, you're forced to come in and team fight for long periods of times, occasionally over these tributes, and if you get worn down by a Zul'jin, not only are you feeding Zul'jin all those stacks and what he likes to do, but, you know, you're also just kind of walking into that buzzsaw. Meanwhile, Dahaka going to be banned out for Accel Esports, so that makes a lot of sense. Good counter to the Abathur. Kind of makes his life difficult in terms of wanting to soak, body soak, while also, you know, Abathur having that symbiote onto the other lanes for the additional soak. You know, Orphea and Nazebo coming out here, so very interesting pick with the Nazebo. Orphea also really good follow-up damage to the CC that's going to be provided from Anubarak and Tyrande. Nazebo, really good wave clear hero, but also really good poke and denial hero. Meanwhile, Stukov going to be the healer of this game for Accel Esports with Anna not being available and the Greymane coming in. We've seen a pretty good revitalization here of Greymane in NGS Season 6. He's been poking around a little bit more often. He still is not as strong as he was back in the day, but where he had fallen completely out of the meta, we're now seeing more and more of him popping up. And since most of his strength is in his base kit, I think he's a pretty strong clone target overall, so we see that occasionally as well. And meanwhile, ETC going to be the final pickup for HOTUS. They're going to go with that double front line and probably utilizing that for the global presence, as he's got the stage dive post level 10. All right, so we're heading in here for game number 2. Accel Esports pulling off what was a very impressive Game 1 win. I'll find the right scene eventually, folks, I promise. There we go. Definitely an interesting front line here for HOTUS. Quite a lot of CC, not a ton of damage, though, from the Anubarak ETC front line. But they got plenty of damage in the backside to follow it up, so see how this goes out for them here. Is on the left, HOTUS. We've got Jub playing the Tyrande. Blaze going to be on the Orphea. Clyde going to be playing the Nazebo. Waterboy TKD on ETC. And Watson going to be on the Anubarak. Meanwhile, on the right, we've got Accel Esports. Scathar going to be playing the Greymane. Casey going to be on Jaina. Shamhat playing the Stukov. Atlas playing Abathur. And Leonidas on the Johanna. He's tripped me up a couple times. Let's see if that continues. All right. Abathur going to go ahead and burrow up to the top lane. Atlas going to go ahead and take position in the bushes. Trying to see if he can get some body soaking here while everybody else duels in the mid. This is definitely a duel that favors the side of Accel Esports, though, as long as Leonidas doesn't die here. Trying to get some stacks, but again, Casey not quite finding any damage early here, any of that frost damage. Worth noting also that Nazebo has gone spider build. So 12 stacks early on that level 1 quest to try and get the spiders built up. Prog Rock also has been started, and you'll see a couple globes early here for Waterboy TKD. Atlas going to back up to the fort. As I see ETC showing in the top. Meanwhile, 3-man bottom lane for Accel Esports. Gonna allow Abathur to just kind of soak up in that top lane while Jaina passively soaks in the mid. Nice meat wagon. Alright, well there you go. Look out, Blaze. Ton of damage coming down, but is able to scoot out there just in time. Jub also hanging around, able to grab a few heals there. Early camp grab for Clyde, but I like that call. Take it back, actually. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I don't like that call. Map objective in the bot lane. So if they hold up that camp grab a little bit, time it out to push against the map objective, it'll kind of force Accel Esports to have to choose between that top or bottom. But they are grabbing the mid camp as well. This will be timed up pretty much directly with that objective as well. But mid also capped over on the side of Accel Esports, so should give Leonidas the opportunity to clear this and still rotate down, as we're going to hear that toll right about now for that first tribute. Now, Waterboy TKD not making it easy, though. He is full-on defending here, trying to make sure this camp lives as long as possible. Now, Leonidas actually going to go ahead and give up on it. I'm going to leave Atlas to go ahead and clear this top lane. Meanwhile, mid lane being pushed in by HOTUS. So, overall, good macro calls. They are going to have these the camp pressure in both lanes. And actually, yeah, Accel Esports not even going to look to contest. Blaze going to get the free cap on this first tribute. I take it back. It was a good call. It worked out well here for HOTUS in this early game 1. Scathar, though, or game 2, I should say. Early in game 2. What a rotation, though, from HOTUS. They're getting massively aggressive. And Shamhat is not going to make it out of here. Well, that's going to be first blood. How deep they are, though, that's kind of surprising to me for the members of HOTUS. That 5-man commitment in to steal the camp here and get that cap, but they're going to be losing soak in these other lanes. Abathur being able to be everywhere across this map, soaking in all the different lanes, body soaking up in the top. We saw the hat in the mid. But it is going to require Accel to respond to this. They'll lose a couple, about half of that health from that front wall turret on the keep in bottom. Meanwhile, both teams now at level 7 as we head towards the second tribute fight. And they catch Leonidas caught a little bit out here, but Scathar actually being caught in that zombie wall. Watson getting very low. He's going to be chased away for the moment, but Scathar trading out a lot of health as well. Looks like ETC is rotating down, so this will end up being a 4v5 plus symbiote hat. Abathur going to snake on out into lane to body soak. And it looks like right now Accel is okay just giving this up completely here. They don't want to fight the 4v5 point whatever. Meanwhile, ETC going to return to the soaking. Meanwhile, 4-man commitment to the bot lane. I'll have to see if HOTUS is actually going to go deep in on this or not. Blaze kind of walking forward, putting out some damage. Abathur still safe up in this top lane. Able to get the body soaking going. But ETC is on the way. Atlas sees that. We'll head on out. Down in the bottom. A little bit of a fight going on. Mostly just kind of a slow start here. He did have that deep dive into the bot area to get the kill on the Stukov, but other than that, not a whole lot of team fighting. Neither map objective has been fought over too long, which is not in favor of what Accel would like to see with the ability for Abathur to double soak. We'll see Abathur burrow to the bottom and now is body soaking down in that lane. while providing the hat here to team fight with over this objective. This is Kurt's point, though, for HOTUS, so definitely where Accel would like to be able to force. You want to be able to get one of these first three, but nice zoning coming out. Jump almost caps it, but the flashlight comes out at the last second there. Waterboy TKD getting very low. Leonidas actually gets booped back by the face melt. Otherwise, that Condemn might have been able to secure something there. But Shamhat actually gets taken down on the backside as Clyde and Blaze rotate down and take him out. Scathar trying to commit in with the Dark Flight, but Blaze able to heal up enough to stay alive. Leonidas is going to be able to make it out as well. But this is going to be the curse going over to the members of HOTUS.
And now you shall
So
fall.
curse coming out here. They're going to be splitting up into all three lanes to try and get the split push soak here. They do have level 10s now in online for HOTUS. It is going to be the Crushing Jaws, along with the Stage Dive, Gargantuan, Shadowstalk, and the Cocoon for the members of HOTUS. Meanwhile, for Accel Esports, they're going to have the Flailing Swipe, Ring of Frost, Ultimate Evolution, Blessed Shield, and Go for the Throat. Clyde way out here in the bottom. Gonna allow that to kind of push itself in the bot lane from all those ranged minions. Zoning out a little bit as well. Up in the top lane, Casey doing a nice job of being able to clear these waves and keep Waterboy TKD from getting any real value on the top lane. Top and bottom, typically the priority lanes on this map because of the bosses.
Let the curse end.
These are not the Alterac Valley bosses, ladies and gentlemen. These Cursed Hollow bosses mean business. Bottom one is started by HOTUS, and they'll be able to pick this up with ease. It is scouted out there by Accel Esports, but they're definitely going to be too late to pick it up. Or contest for it, I should say. Meanwhile, it looks like they're just going to go right across the map and look to make this a double boss play. Meanwhile, members of Accel Esports will have to choose between pushing against the boss here in bot lane or contesting up in the top. And look out! Crushing Jaws, Stage Dive, everything just brutalizing Accel Esports on that camp point. And we'll be able to steal the camp away, but more importantly, with the Stukov down, Accel Esports knows they're going to have to concede that top boss and will settle for clearing here. They did get a nice grab onto that siege camp, so the siege camp is going to help them push this lane out a little bit as well. Abathur is up in the top lane. Atlas will go ahead and dig away now that they see the boss coming in. Mid lane also taking a little bit of harass here from HOTUS, but or from the minions from HOTUS, I should say, but they do have the mule. Drop it to heal that back up.
Has destroyed a fort.
Top fort goes down as we see HOTUS marching in with this very healthy boss in towards the top. 4-0 on the kill counter right now, and with both teams having 0 tributes right now, I think the focus is going to be on this push. And we'll see Webrap coming down on the backside there onto Stukov. They'll be able to break Shamhat out of that pretty quickly and easily. Does eat up some of the resources, though, that they'd like to be using in defense here, but it looks like HOTUS is just going to be satisfied at the front wall, and we'll go ahead and back up. They will have a better priority rotation to collect this tribute. And we see Stage Dive directly at the bottom, actually. Waterboy TKD going to rotate down here in defense of the fort. We'll have that going. The fourth tribute going over to HOTUS. Abathur up in the top lane. Getting some decent soak out here. About a level behind right now is Accel Esports. But definitely not out of this one. We saw some just absolutely monstrous rings come in the late game. turning a lot of those team fights for Accel Esports. I'll have to see if that is the ends up being the difference again in this one. HOTUS in pretty firm control, though. I think really until you have one of these keeps down, though, I don't think your lead is really too significant to expect the other team to be able to come back from. The big thing right now is HOTUS is just dominating the rotation game. They have been rotating where they want, when they want, and everyone indicating that that was a dangerous push. The flashlight does confirm that, but caught in a little too far here is Shamhat. He's going to go ahead and use the flailing swipe to try and give himself a little bit of room, but Waterboy TKD is still on top of him here. Meanwhile, the two members in deep there. One of them was the Evolution, though. They do end up losing Greymane in that exchange, however, and HOTUS able to get another team fight win. That one not quite as decisive as the others, but is more than sufficient to secure them another of these tributes. 5 in a row now for HOTUS. Next one will be Curse Point once again, and I don't know, that early curse didn't get quite as much value as I think they may have wanted. Enough to be worth that first curse, but just now getting the final fort down. Level 16 is now here, and that is really the big advantage for HOTUS. We know that this next tribute is going to be coming up soon. It's in a good position for Accel, but without level 16, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually fight HOTUS for that tribute point. And with the last, with that also being the curse, it's going to be hard for them to really be able to answer to it. But look at HOTUS. They are not really concerned at all with getting in position for this tribute. They push very heavily into the bot lane, opening up that keep front wall, stealing away the camp, and now they will finally rotate away as the members of Accel Esports come in to defend. I don't know. I just don't know if you fight. You kind of have to, in a lot of ways. You want to try to be able to fight this, but I just don't know if it's actually possible for them to win this. They will go ahead and pop the ultimate evolution, though, so they are committing to it fully. Meanwhile, Nazeebo actually being dived on here in the bot side. Scathar, though, being dived in response. There's Waterboy TKD with the slide. Scathar trying to go and get something done, but he's going to go down. Meanwhile, Leonidas does manage to grab the tribute. So a little bit of a cheeky grab there for Accel. And you look at the death timers, it's only Greymane that went down over on the side of Accel Esports. They do still have 50 seconds, though, on the ultimate evolution. So we'll see. This is going to be a 30-second counter, so how fast that pops is going to make a big difference in this game. We will see the boss being picked up for the side of HOTUS, though. This will almost assuredly grab the bottom camp. Or the bottom keep, I should say. The level 16s are now in for Accel. They have their Greymane back. 20 seconds until Ultimate Evolution, so they will have it for this tribute fight. Meanwhile, HOTUS almost rotating in again fast enough. If they had burned the stage dive, they maybe could have gotten up fast enough to follow it, but they didn't really want to risk it, I don't think, with the level 16s in here. But they're risking this fight over this boss. They're actually going to go ahead and let it leash and look to try and focus on Scathar instead. They do catch him with that slide. Meanwhile, Tribute is up in the bot. Both teams focusing on the fight. Instead, Orphea is going to go down off the heels of that ring. Make it 2, make it 3 maybe here with Waterboy TKD. Clyde trying to zone out with that, the zombie wall. Bottom keep does end up going down from the boss, but at the end of the day, that will get cleaned up by the core, though they will have to respond to it a little bit here. They don't want it to take core damage. Meanwhile, a couple members of Accel Esports going to go ahead and rotate and grab their own boss. I like that split. They send Johanna to get the tribute. Casey down here to clear up the boss in the bottom lane. a couple members to grab the boss and get that off the map. So Accel Esports coming back in this one. He desperately needed that team fight, and boy, did they ever take it and get a nice result there. And what has been just a completely dominated game by HOTUS in game number 2. Accel Esports just a nice answer on that fight over the top boss. And HOTUS did a nice job of peeling off of it. You know, they definitely had their resources available. And look out! The members of Accel Esports are rotating in here. They're going to get here in time to steal this camp away. Can they find any picks, though? No, it looks like smart rotation from HOTUS. They'll give up this camp and just live to fight another day. That day coming soon on this top tribute. HOTUS having plenty of time to clear this up. They'll go ahead and clean this out. Actually, I take it back. They don't have a whole lot of time, because this is cursed point for the side of Accel Esports. Watson could get here in time, but is going to be zoned out a little bit, but they snake that through, that owl through to hit Scathar and cancel that. Ring hitting 3 though. Clyde actually ice blocks out of it, but the front line that got hit by it gets completely annihilated there. And Accel Esports with another 3-for-0 exchange, and they are coming back in this one, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna get themselves the curse. They have a lot of push out in all these different lanes, but of course with the curse, we're gonna see these minions getting just annihilated in every lane. Meanwhile, they are on the march here. Still over 30 seconds until all the members of HOTUS are back. So this top keep should be something that they should be able to get pretty easily here as they head in towards the front wall. Abathur defending on the backside there. 3 members still down, 20 seconds until they're back up here. And Zebo trying to do what he can to defend this with the Gargantuan and the wall, but this top keep is going down way too fast as the members of HOTUS still coming back to life here. I don't think they're going to be able to go core. It looks like instead they're going to go ahead and back up and look to maybe try and rotate to the bot. But HOTUS is back up. The level 20s are almost in here. Level 20s now online for Accel. Mid fort is going to end up going down here. So overall, not a bad moment here for HOTUS in the attempted defense, but they are going in deep here, trying to force onto Leonidas. Web wrap on the back. We do end up seeing the ring coming out, not finding anybody there off the heels of that, but the inner ring actually finds the Zebo. They're trying to turn around onto him. The ice block is good to keep him alive, though. The Clyde comes out of the ice block and into the fire there, as Accel able to find another kill as well onto the ETC and on the backside. Abathur actually grabbing that kill, but it's another 3-for-0, make it a 4-for-0, as Accel now has a path here to maybe try and win the game. They're going to go up towards the top, and I think this is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Accel Esports looking for the 2-0 over the #1 team here in B East, HOTUS. And they are on the march as they go in towards the core, and there's just nothing that Watson can do to stop this, shredding down the shields. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Game 2 and the series going to go over to Accel Esports here on Cursed Hollow. GG's being called, and GG's indeed here.